Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 20 of our F125 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here in Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live on Monday from the US, of course, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We had a huge retirement announcement coming in from Lewis Hamilton before he then proceeded to go on and I believe won the Grand Prix, didn't he, last weekend, trying desperately to keep his championship hopes alive. 5 race weekends remaining of this season, of course 2 of those being sprints. Lando Norris has a 20-point gap ahead of Charles Leclerc after he finished P2 last weekend. Charles Leclerc and Ferrari failing to see the checkered flag. Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, both still with an outside chance at the world title as well, but I'm pretty certain mathematically, I think technically still Yuki Tsunoda is in that fight, but there's not a chance that he's going to remain, you know, kind of there until the end of the season. We are 1 point ahead of Fernando Alonso right now. The team is 1 point ahead of Aston Martin as well, so we are hanging on by our fingernails to the best of the rest position at the moment. Of course, if this is the only series of mine that you watch, you may notice that the environment we're in is a little bit different. Yes, this is the first of these videos I'm recording in my new house, so a massive thank you to all of you, because of course, without you guys watching, none of this would ever have been possible either, so yeah, I cannot appreciate the support enough. But without further ado then, let's head here back to Mexico City. It feels very odd coming back to this venue without Sergio Perez on the grid, so maybe we can try and get a good result. Well, there we go then as well. Before we head into the weekend, we have successfully snatched Yuki Tsunoda away from Red Bull as well. Clearly, he's not too happy with his situation over there. And of course, where we've got the Red Bull power units in the back of the car, he seems fairly happy to be coming our way. So our lineup for next season is confirmed. Then Yuki Tsunoda, Isaac Hadjar. I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, of course, that means now Ferrari are going to be in search of a new driver. Red Bull are going to be in search of a new driver. So there's a lot going on in the world of Formula 1 right now.
What an atmosphere we've got. The fans have been here since dawn, and the stadium, the Faro Sol, is absolutely heaving. We're about to get set to set the grid for tomorrow's Grand Prix. It's qualifying day here in Mexico City.
Making our way then out of the final corner. Oh, trying to get the foot to the floor again then. I just want to make sure I'm the last car on a qualifying lap here. So again, we're going to try and do the same of a build lap first, and then we'll do a proper flyer. Max Verstappen, 1.4 seconds clear of anybody else in Q1. Well, this lap's felt pretty clean and tidy anyway, and well, despite the fact we've used no battery, I'm 3/10 of a second up on the time we set last time round, so I think we're about to see a bit of happy hour here, or right towards the end of qualifying, as we will, or not quite up into P16, so we're definitely going to need to have to find another improvement here, but we are right on the cusp. Worryingly though, so is Yuki Tsunoda and Isaac Hadjar, our 2 drivers ready for next season, maybe struggling towards the end now. They've obviously got their contracts nice and safe ready for the new season, and I'm intrigued to see how they're going to get on as we head into next year. I'll probably be racing as Isaac Hadjar most of the time. We'll allow Yuki Tsunoda to kind of try and prove himself in the other car there. His big rear locking moment down at the end of the second straight. Still half a second up though. Like I said, are we going to see loads of times improving there? I think Hulkenberg, nope, that was Lance Stroll, I think, improving. There's loads of drivers right at risk of going out in Q1. Lando Norris, our World Championship leader, was down in P16. I think he's just improved over the line. Oscar Piastri now in the other McLaren car, right on the brink as we try and throw it through the exit of the S's here. We're half a second up on that split time of Oscar Piastri as Carlos Sainz will go to the top of the board. There you go. Track conditions are improving when a Williams goes clear of a Red Bull. George Russell now down into the drop zone as well, as we need to find another second here if we want to make it through. Hamilton down in the drop zone, and I don't think he's on a lap. I think Hamilton stayed in the pit lane. We are also going to be out in Q1, P21, but drama right at the very end. Well, there we go then. Carlos Sainz fastest ahead of Max Verstappen. There, Gasly and Lawson tied for P3 and P4. Dennis Hauger, 1.2 seconds clear of me, so maybe just trying to prove to the team that it wasn't wise to get rid of him. But Hamilton and Antonelli stayed in the pit lane right at the end of qualifying there, and they have paid the ultimate price out in Q1 for the pair of them. That now probably means Lewis Hamilton's hope for an 8th world title is well and truly over. But we went a second clear of Hulkenberg. I guess that's good. But starting in a Sauber sandwich right at the rear of the field.
Bienvenidos to the most populous city in North America. The legendary Jim Clark won the first official F1 race back in 1963 here, and we've had a veritable who's who of winners ever since. It's Mexico City, and therefore the Mexico City Grand Prix. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour and providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Tsunoda, Russell, Oscar Piastri, and Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Gasly, Albon, and Lance Stroll, Leclerc, Lawson, Ollie Behrman, and Hadjar, Hauger, Antonelli, Esteban Ocon, and Lewis Hamilton, Bortoletto, Voisin, Hulkenberg, and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
Well, here we are then down on the grid, ready for the Mexico City Grand Prix, and look at that rain predicted throughout a big chunk of today's race as well. So, trying to time the switch to the intermediates. Will we see a switch back to dries by the end of the afternoon? Only time will tell. 36 laps ahead of us though. I think I'm ready for the Mexico City Grand Prix. I don't know why, but I think we could see a red flag or something like that today as well. Which could really spice up the order. But as we wait then on the grid for those 5 red lights to come on, it is, lights out and away we go there. That kind of caught me a little bit by surprise with one of the longest runs down in towards turn 1.
On the internal combustion engine, be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
I didn't realise we had ICE wear this weekend. There you go, 56%. So got to be careful of that, especially around a circuit like this where air and oxygen comes at a premium for the engine, but trying to find an avenue around the outside of a couple of drivers through turn 1 and turn 2. Got to at least try and get back up to where I started there off the first corner as wheel to wheel with Gabriel Bortoletto. We will go up in towards turn 3 and 4. Nice and tidy on the brakes. Easy does it. You just see that front wing of the kick bouncing out towards us there as he rattled over the curbs. Looks like Hamilton's made up a couple of places at the start as well as Isaac Hadjar. Getting a big slide on as he tries to defend his position from Nico Hulkenberg. That one's not going to happen. So I just thought about trying to look down the inside there, but thought better of it. We've got to be sensible. We've got to be smart on this lap 1. As we try and get the car through the exit of the middle sector. It looks like Max Verstappen has dropped a couple of places off the launch as well. I would assume it's World Championship leader Lando Norris at the front of the order there as well. Big dive coming in down at the Forest Sol. Thank you very much, Isaac Hadjar. We will gain a place then on lap 1 as it is Lando leading. Charles Leclerc as well, way down the order. So he's got a golden opportunity today to build himself up a buffer that hopefully for his sake he won't lose again by the time we get to Abu Dhabi. Well, looks like Dennis Hauger, after his brilliant qualifying session yesterday, seems to be dropping down the order pretty quickly at the start of the Grand Prix today. I mean, we do have a quicker car than Kick Sauber, so hopefully he's going to be able to put up a little bit of a defence there as Hulkenberg now in a bit of a 2-1-2 sandwich. Whoa! Just broke a little bit earlier than I was expecting there, and apparently through the Forest Sol is my favourite place to go for overtakes. It's down the inside, we will make it happen. So up then into P18 of the Grand Prix. That was a little bit scary. Oh, here we go, Hamilton and Antonelli then wheel to wheel. Mercedes past versus Mercedes future. So we make our way down through the middle sector there, Kimi Antonelli, we'll just about get the move done.
Weather's going to hit in around 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So stay on your toes.
So we will try and have a look then to the outside of our teammate Dennis Hauger here. Not quite in the Forest Sol just yet, but getting pretty close there as right on the outside will go of our teammate. And, well, I think hopefully if we could just stick with Antonelli and Hamilton, they are still going to continue to fight their way up through the order. I'm just really struggling with the rear end of the car today. I think we're already starting to kind of see the effects of the rain on the circuit. That'll obviously make it very slippery, but before you see any rain in the sky, it's a weird little bug. Antonelli then trying to make some moves happen on Sir Lancelot here as Hamilton just having to watch in the background there as we try to have a look around the outside of the Ferrari man. Can we go the long way around him? Up through the top of the hill, definitely not going to be able to get the grip down there. This is where the AI have the advantage, as the track is getting really, really slippery. The AI are able to just find grip in places I'm not able to at the moment, especially around a circuit like this. Here we go, look at that, Antonelli diving to the inside of Lance Stroll. Don't often see overtakes through there, but you just see how careful we're having to be as we tip the car into the corners. Almost pushing Lewis Hamilton along through the final few turns, but pretty much as soon as you start seeing the rain, that is about the ideal time to pit. I mean, look at that, we just can't do anything off the corners against the AI here. I'll be able to get a run back on Hamilton. No, he's going to try and line up a move on Stroll as well. We've got yellows out down at the first corner. I think someone's either gone for a spin or is perhaps out of the Grand Prix.
The next part of the track, no overtaking through the yellow flags.
And there's just a Williams of Alex Albon part there, and we have got a safety car.
Watch your delta. Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack.
I'm going to make the call now. I'm going to pit now for intermediates, because I think by the time that safety car comes in, it is going to be time. It's always a little bit scary in these moments when I want to peel into the pit lane and none of the AI have done so. I mean, the team is saying the rain is basically here. Like, it's going to happen now. So as we're going to try and dive into the pit lane then. Yeah, like I said, we're going to be down at the rear of the field. Make sure I don't get done for speeding. But of course, ideally I want the rain to stay away a little bit longer. I want all of the cars to be bunched up before any of them want to pit as well. So hopefully then we get a huge advantage from it. This is a big, big gamble though in this Grand Prix. But I don't... Come on. I don't think we're going to score points if we don't take a big risk today. So we've kind of got to do what works. As there we go, the rain now falling. So this might be the time. Oh, there we go. AI are in. AI diving into the pit lane then. So Lando Norris from the lead of the field. He's going to be in.
Too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Well, I was kind of hoping the AI would stay out until the safety car dives in. As all, we're way under the delta. Come on, scrub off that speed. Don't get done for speeding. Oh, only just. But is everybody into the pit lane apart from Lance Stroll? Stroll stayed out there then. Right, come on. Where are we going to re-emerge then in this Grand Prix? We're going to be ahead of Lando. Oh, we're going to come out right ahead of Verstappen. Maybe Norris as well. Nope, we just came out behind Lando Norris.
Can't overtake. Return the position.
Well, effectively then we are up to a net P2 in this Grand Prix. As why on earth is Lance the only one that feels he can brave the conditions? That reminds me of, I think it was Russia back in 2021. Lance Stroll was asked if he could manage the conditions. He said yes and immediately crashed.
Can you stay out on this condition? Can you stay out?
Yes!
Well, if Lance Stroll then, I don't think we've ever seen him lead a safety car restart before inside F1, but there we are. Today is going to be the day as through the final couple of corners the Canadian will go. I mean, come on, Lando. We can't all just sit around and have a tea party in the middle of the Forest Sol, but surely Lance is going to be straight into the pit lane here. He cannot stay out on these tyres, which he will. So Lance Stroll into the pits then, as Lando Norris will take the lead at the front of the order, but he's had a terrible restart. We have timed that perfectly against Lando Norris, and wheel to wheel for the lead of the Grand Prix we will go, as we will try and get around him in towards the first braking zone off the restart. I mean, what do you do? Well, if you're Lando Norris here, you've got everything to lose and very little to gain. in the World Championship, but he'll get his elbows out and he will hang on to the lead off of the restart. So we will try and put the power down just behind him then. Stroll making his way back out of the pit lane. He's actually not too far behind the rest of the field, but I can't help but feel we're just going to be steadily dropping backwards over these next few laps. Oh, George Russell, nothing we could do. A huge run on me down in towards the stadium. You see that turn around. Oh, down the inside there. Gets a bit of a bobble over the curbing. But yeah, we've just got to try and bring home points this afternoon. We know Alonso running very well here, so definitely going to have to put up a bigger fight against him. But other than that, yeah, we are just going to be a sitting duck. I'm sure Verstappen now is going to try and line up a run back down in towards turn 1. Is immediately, look at the traction the AI's got there. Verstappen will fight his way through. And you can see, oh, Charles Leclerc, no, surely not, 3 wide. As we make our way back towards that first corner, will Verstappen break first again? Oh, yes, he just about will there, and down the middle, we will hang on to it. I was adamant then for a split second I was going to be running completely off the road at turn 1. Oh, here we go, Verstappen now. It's clearly taking inspiration from George Russell just a lap ago, and all that time round, outbroke myself as well, so I'll make it even easier for the Dutchman. Up into 3rd place, and these races are so depressing where you just steadily drop down the order like a stone. I mean, look at that. We're using battery and still Charles Leclerc in that Ferrari is getting the run on me back towards turn 1 there. He's just about trying to hang alongside us. Let's just see what he can do then. Late on the brakes. We know the Monegasque man, when he's in the rhythm, can be very confident. Problem for him, though, and Verstappen, is that their main rival has bolted at the front. There are still a few more opportunities, but things are really looking good for Lando Norris right now. So here comes Alonso. Whoa, wheel banging with the Spaniard. But we are definitely going to have to be a lot more aggressive with him.
Back soon. Back to dry shortly.
Okay, so rain is meant to be stopping quite soon then. But I've got no idea what dry tyres we want to be on. Is Tsunoda now trying to get the elbows out against Fernando? He could do his future employer quite a big favour here by making that move happen.
3 seconds.
There goes Yuki Tsunoda then, down the inside again, in towards turn 1. But I think he actually might have listened to my instruction and held up Fernando Alonso very well here. I think the Spaniard might have a little bit of front wing damage now, because he's dropping down the order. He's actually now dropped out of the points in this Grand Prix there as he battles with Carlos Sainz. So, yeah, I think Tsunoda and him did make contact.
I think the right call is to stick with what we've got for now.
I mean, yeah, just because the rain has stopped certainly doesn't mean the Inters aren't the right tyre to be on. This circuit is still very, very slippery. Oh, we've got yellows. Someone's breaking down. I think that's George Russell. George Russell, he was having a really good day out here, but it looks like he's going to be out of the Mexico City Grand Prix. Running, I think he was comfortable P2, wasn't he? But Russell out of it. And a VSC! Oh!
Negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
The timing of that was probably perfect, because if it had been a bit earlier, I would have probably dived into the pit lane and it would have been the wrong choice. So, thank you, George Russell. But yeah, VSC then. I told you there was going to be drama today. We've got yellows again. I think that's a Kick Sauber car now breaking down. As I think we're starting to see a couple of drivers pit for dries. I think that Kick Sauber might have been one of them. But I think that could be Bortoletto then. It's going to be our 2nd retirement of the afternoon. Either way, we're going to have to pit this lap. Cannot afford to stay out here any longer.
This lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Certainly taken a long time to retire from this race, but it is Gabriel Bortoletto then. Our 2nd retirement and another VSC. I've got to do it this time.
Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta on your dash.
Even if it just stops us from getting under or overcut by a little bit here, I've got to dive into the pit lane.
Negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Looks like none of our front runners, though, opting to do the same thing here. So this is going to be a big risk towards the end of the afternoon. I'm going to opt for a set of the soft compound tyres. So flying to the pit lane there. Nice and tidy. Or just don't get done for speeding on the entry here. But yeah, these, I mean, we were going to have to box anyway onto another set of Inters pretty soon, because these just were not going to last towards the end of the afternoon. But a set of soft tyres, are they going to have the grip to the end? I really do not know. Well, now the VSC has been called in, we start to get an idea as to whether this was an okay call or not. And I tell you what, I think we might have accidentally nailed it. We're not gaining loads of time on the AI in front, but I'm trying to be very, very careful in not kind of running on the wet line, because that'll cost you massively on the dry tyres there. But look at that, the run we got off of that corner. I think we might have nailed this switch. The big question now, of course, is whether these whether these softs will last to the end. So I am going to have to try and nurse them. Oh, there we go, Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's into the pit lane then, so at least one of the AI is doing it. I mean, surely their intermediates can't last to the end of the afternoon anyway. As there goes Behrman again.
0.1 seconds.
Oh, there we go. Hulkenberg's on the hard tyres then, so he could definitely take softs. Oh, to the end of the afternoon there as Behrman really trying to get the elbows out against us. Problem is now, of course, if he holds the dry line, I can't do anything on the run back in towards turn 1. But yeah, I just need to see the AI pit. I'm just not convinced it's going to happen, and even if it does, will we stay ahead of Fernando? Oh, here comes Esteban. Surely not on the wet line, though. Whoa, I completely overshot that. Oh, I just knew as soon as he had a look, I was like, he's not going to get this slowed down, and well, by focusing on the Frenchman, I completely messed it up for myself there. I think, yeah, we were the first onto the intermediates. That was absolutely the right call. We were the first back onto the dries, and it has not worked for us. Liam Lawson now making his way out the pit lane. Again, another one that wasn't far away from the top 10. But we have, again, got ahead of him. But how long until he jumps me? I mean, how on earth, when we're on a set of the soft compound tyres, is Esteban Ocon going 5 seconds a lap faster than me? Whoa, where's Lawson going? Round the outside on the run back in towards turn 1. Definitely the AI still have a massive advantage in these kind of conditions inside the game. I'm getting a little bit worried though. Lando Norris might legitimately lap me by the end of the afternoon. As, oh, the tyre wear warning lights on as well. A race that showed so much promise so briefly. It has really got away from us today there, as I think Behrman's unlapped himself. So Lando's Inters now might be really struggling. I'm not optimistic though. Oh, Alex Albon to the outside. Oh, look, the tyre driver. I mean, look at how late he's able to brake.
Might make a mistake.
I know he's on fresh tyres and mine are wrecked, but that was ridiculous, the difference into the braking zone here. But, I mean, yeah, we're meant to have 2 laps to go, but Lando Norris might legitimately lap us by the end of this race. I think if Hauger and Behrman get by me, we may as well try and save the mileage on the engine, as Lance Stroll into the pits as well. So I think then, 15, 14, 30, I don't think Alonso, I think he's in 11th right now, battling with Ocon for that final points-paying position. It would be very good for us if Aston Martin don't score today. Oh, Lando's in. I didn't realise Lando Norris into the pit lane then. So Ferrari out into P1 then this Grand Prix, as there goes Hauger flying past us as well. So yeah, it's all just going horribly wrong right towards the end of this thing. But I assume that's Charles Leclerc then that has claimed the lead of the Grand Prix. But I believe he's got Verstappen hounding him right towards the end of this one, as Ollie Behrman now looks to the outside of us. Oh, I try not to do a Max Verstappen on him. As around the outside he will go then, as Stroll and Isaac Hadjar as well, not a million miles behind, but to try and get the car through these final few corners. I want to get to the last lap. I don't believe I've been lapped yet inside F125, and I don't want today to be the first time I do, as Lance Stroll around the outside. He will go. Oh, easy does it. Easy does it. But as the confetti flies behind, I got no idea. I think it's Leclerc who's leading this, but I know Verstappen is right up his trumpet as well. Who is going to win as they get back towards the flag? I think Leclerc has held on, and he will close in the gap on Lando Norris in the World Championship there. The gap must have been next to nothing between him and Verstappen when they got round to the line. Luckily, because Hadjar's a lap down, we will beat him by the end. Lando Norris will limp home in 3rd. He should have stayed out, surely. Surely he should have stayed out. Well, yeah, we definitely just went far too early, though, into the pit lane there. I don't actually think... Oh, we were losing a lot of time for too long in this Grand Prix. Is having a little bit of a half spin as well, right towards the end. But Stroll making a move on Ollie Behrman then. I think we're about to get a puncture in this Grand Prix. 92% on that rear left tyre, but there's still a little bit of confetti flying. Luckily, they saved some for everybody, as through the final few corners we will go here in Mexico City. A race to forget, but of course more learning experiences. We've survived. That's about all I can really claim.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they were able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
And it's time for that special moment for our special three today. The podium awaits our top three finishers. And that is a fabulous win. And the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc.
Well, there we are then, by just 1/10 of a second. Charles Leclerc, for the second time this year, making a different strategy work to the rest of the field. He hung out on the intermediates, and he was ultimately rewarded today. Max Verstappen in second ahead of Lando Norris. Oscar Piastri, a great recovery to P4. They're ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and between the Ferraris, they overtook 23 cars today. That is pretty good going. This late stage of the season. Tsunoda in P6 ahead of Antonelli. Alonso, unfortunately I got my maths slightly wrong, was up in P8 by the end of the Grand Prix, just ahead of Esteban Ocon and Jack Doohan there, as I think Pierre Gasly really struggled on the final lap as well. So much was happening towards the end of the Grand Prix, it was a little bit difficult to keep up with. Bortoleto, George Russell, you two that failed to see the checkered flag, but we somehow gained a place there from 20th to 19th, which I guess we can be happy about. World Championship though, the gap at the top back down to just 10 points between them there. Norris versus Leclerc seems to be the battle towards the end of the year. Verstappen's still not a million miles away, just ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Tsunoda now 20 clear of George Russell, but we lose the spot to Fernando Alonso and Andrea Kimi Antonelli as well. So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do before the end of the year, because Esteban Ocon is still right behind us as well. Further down the order, any other movers? I don't believe so at this stage of the year. Still just Hadjar and Bortoleto yet to score. Constructors-wise though, Ferrari one hand on that trophy. 7 points in it between McLaren and Red Bull, is now Alonso and Aston Martin 3 points ahead of ourselves as well. We're going to need a big result at some point soon, because Haas and Williams as well still slowly bringing that gap down, and I'm staggered that Alpine aren't a whole lot closer as well. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns, ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Another sprint, you guys do not want to miss it.